So guys, welcome to Leaves and Lungs. So today is one of the very more important topics for those people who are preparing for many entrance exams related to agriculture, also food safety officer, and also FSSAI exams and agriculture exams, and even for state public service commissions and UPSCs. The topic today is going to be about on the Codex Alimentarius. So first of all, you need to know what is Codex Alimentarius. So actually, Codex Alimentarius, it is a Latin word which means that all that alimentary canal is actually called food canal. So the name alimentarius is actually nothing but it means food. Okay, the code is actually food codex. Okay, so it is nothing but the collection of the food standards and its related text adopted by the commission is called as Codex Alimentarius. So basically the commission sits and frames some code related to food, whether how to pack and how to prepare and how to process. So all these codes that is being mentioned here are comes under this category of Codex Alimentarius. Okay, so it's basically a food code. You have to remember this. It's a Latin word which means food. Okay. So what is the commission actually is about? So this commission is actually, it was a joint committee that was set up by two important United Nations organizations. One is FAO and World Health Organization. This is very crucial because you could be asked very simply, which are the two organizations that formed Codex Alimentarius Commission? So the answer would be Food and Agriculture Organizations and World Health Organizations. And they will simply ask you where is the headquarters of the Codex Alimentarius Commission is. So the answer for this is Rome. Rome is the capital of Italy, right? So as I said earlier, the mandate of the Codex is nothing but is to establish international food standards. Okay, so if you are like exporting or importing any food, there should be standard in that food, right? What if like country A that supplies you substandard goods and you cannot complain about all those things? So there should be an universal standard, right? So this is the mandate of this Codex Alimentarius. So this Codex Alimentarius commission gives that standard about the quality of the food and also the transport of the food and about the packaging and everything that is related to the movement of the foods from one place to another. Okay, so this is what the mandate of the codex is all about. So the next thing is who can be the member of Codex Alimentarius. Okay, so by default, if you are member of FAO and WHO, you can also be considered as members of this commission. So this is as simple as that. So but just remember, apart from the member countries, there is also the entry of regional economic integration organizations. Okay, so right now the European community is actually included into it, that is the European Union. So apart from this, there can be like other maybe in the future regional integration groupings can be also added as members. Okay, so this is one thing about that. And there are about 219 codex observers and intergovernmental organizations and NGOs and also 16 United Nations organizations are also part of Codex Alimentarius. So what is the procedural manual? So nothing but manual is nothing but it is a guiding light in what ways and how the function commission can actually function. So this manual actually gives about the statutes of the commission, rules of the procedure, and also other information relevant to the commission of about how it could be run and what its commission of the organizations would be and what its subsidiary bodies and all the functions. Everything is mentioned in the manual. Okay, so the word itself gives you the clue what it's going to be about. And what is the organizational structure of the codex? So how the organization functions. So at the top is the commission. The Codex Alimentarius Commission is the main big organ. Under it, the executive committee comes under it to play, and below the executive committee there is a codex secretariat. The codex secretariat functions for various different geographical zones. For example, you would have a different codex secretariat for Asia and different codex secretariat for America, and below it they have some codex subsidiary bodies. We will see each on about everything, what is the function of that and what are the committees that comes under executive committees, and where are the secretariats and what are the subsidiary bodies. We will see everything one by one. So the first big organization is the executive committee. Okay, so this executive committee is one of the like implementation organ, is also the one that manages the standards development process. Okay, so it is basically the working mechanism of the Codex Alimentarius. The commission might be the king, but executive committees are actually the workers, or actually the stage where every draft strategic plan, and also where the applications are being reviewed, like whether to allow a country to be the member of the commission. So all the working protocols and all the works happen in this executive committee. So who is this executive committee? So as I said, this is the working committee of the entire commission. The chairperson of the Codex Alimentarius Commission is the chairman of this executive committee as well. Okay, you have to remember this. The chairperson of the Codex Alimentarius Commission heads the executive committee, right? And the next thing is, what is the composition of executive committee? So how many members are being composed in this executive committee? So the answer is 17. Okay, so this 17 includes a chairperson and 1 plus 3. Okay, so just remember this. Three vice chairpersons. Okay, the number is very critical for entrance exams, because you could be simply asked in the numbers itself. So how many chairperson and how many vice chairperson in the executive committee, and also what are the geographical zones? You should be remembering this. Okay, Africa is there, Asia is there, Europe is there, Latin America, that is South America is there, and the Caribbean. And the next thing is Near East. So Near East is nothing but it is like more of the Middle East countries. Okay, so currently Iran heads it. Okay, Iran, one member country, that is Iran heads the Near East region, and for Asia it is India. Okay, so just remember, for Asia it's India, for Near East it's Iran. Okay, North America, for North America the country that has been selected here is Vanuatu. Okay, Vanuatu. No, sorry, not for North America, for the Southwest Pacific. Okay, it is Vanuatu. And also there is some regional coordinators for this sixth region. Okay, you just remember this magical number, 17 total members, 1 plus 3, that is one chairman and 3 vice chairmen, and each member countries are selected from this geographical zones. The geographical zones are very important, so please pay attention to these countries as well. And the next thing is, what are the Codex subsidiary bodies? Okay, so we saw executive committee, and right now we are seeing Codex subsidiary bodies. So what are the Codex subsidiary bodies? So actually there are four types of Codex subsidiary bodies. One is general subject committees, and another is commodity committees, and another is FHO, WHO coordinating committees. Okay, and the next is ad hoc intergovernmental task force. So these are the four special uh, kinds of Codex subsidiary bodies. You should remember this by heart, because you could be simply asked which one of the following is not a Codex subsidiary body. Okay, so you should know this classification: general subject committee, commodity committee, coordinating committee, and intergovernmental task force, right? Okay, so what is the other name for this general subject committee? So general is usually, it's a broad umbrella category, right? So this is horizontal. It applies to all the foods and products. So that's why it's called as horizontal. And the next thing is vertical. Vertical is more of selective. That is for specific commodities. Maybe it can be for food. It can be for fruits, it can be for vegetables, it can be for milk and milk products. So the specific commodities are comes under this commodity committees. And what is this coordinating committee? So coordinating committee, as the name itself suggests, that it coordinates with the country for maintaining the food standards activities in the regions, and also for development of regional standards. Okay, so this is the coordinating committee. And ad hoc, ad hoc is nothing but it is temporary. Okay, so for example, if any task forces on COVID control is an ad hoc method. So this is one such method. For example, if there is an outbreak in any kinds of particular diseases, they will set up an ad hoc intergovernmental task force, so it functions as such a way. Okay, so these are the four Codex subsidiary bodies. So here is one such question. So which one of the following is not a horizontal committee of the Codex subsidiary body? Okay. So you should know what is horizontal committee. Horizontal committee is nothing but, as I said in the previous slide, it is the general subject committee. Okay. So we have seen that there was a committee on analysis and sampling, food analysis, and there was also on committee on nutrition and food for special dietary uses. And the next is there is a Codex committee on herbicide. Did I said herbicide? No, it was specifically mentioned as pesticide. Okay, so this does not come under the horizontal committee of the Codex subsidiary body. And committee, Codex committee on sugars, no, it doesn't also come under this because it is a commodity and there is a separate committee that deals for specific commodities. We will see in the next slide. So the second committee that we are going to see is about on Codex commodity committees. As I said, each special category of the food is dealt specifically as a separate committee. So they form some various committees vertically. The committees are cereals, pulses and legumes, for fresh fruits and vegetables, for fats and oil, for processed foods and vegetables, and for sugars also they have a special committee, for spices and culinary herbs. So this was hosted by India. Okay, this Codex committee hosted by India. So you know that the spice capital of the world is our country. And the Codex committee on milk and milk products. Okay, so you could be randomly asked, they could ask you which one of the following is not a Codex commodity committee, and they will ask you options such as sugar, spices, milk and salt. So okay, so you should need to know what to eliminate, which commodity does not belong here. If they ask you salt, for sure it is not included here. And if they ask sugar, make sure that it is in the answers and options. Okay, so this is how you should usually pick your options and eliminate. So the last question is, which Codex commodities is hosted by India? So as I said, India is a spice nation, so we heads the we head the Codex committee on spices and culinary herbs. Make sure don't try to forget this simple basic concepts, because this could be very critical for your exams if you are trying to eliminate so many options. Okay, so also try to remember what are the commodities that comes under the vertical classification. Okay, so sugar is there but salt is not there, just remember that. So guys, if you want to make me more videos on this kinds of topic, please do comment on this comment box. I will try to reply. And also if you have any queries, do post it under the comment section. I'll try to solve some of your queries also. Like if you want to have a complete set of PDF for this kinds of exam preparation, also do let me know, so that if we can like able to provide those stuff for you. Okay, so guys, have an awesome day. Thank you for watching this video.